Hello everyone, welcome back to Ayumilove channel for another Awaken Chaos era video. So in today's video, I'll be creating a guide on how to speed farm the Ash Magisteria using Pluto. So currently you'll be able to get Pluto from this advanced summoning banner. And at the point of this video recording, you have around about 4 more days and 1 more hour to go. So if you're not able to get Pluto during the 300% read up, you'll be guaranteed to get him in 400 summons by spending these advanced summoning crystals. So let me show you how I speed farm Ash Magisteria using Pluto. Alright, so we are now in the Ash Magisteria Helmet Stage 4, and the strategy that I'll be showing you today will be able to work on the previous Helmet stages as well. Without further ado, let me show you the heroes here. And in this squad, right, I have Nathalia, William, Pluto, as well as Opal. So let me quickly go over their roles and responsibilities. The first one would be Nathalia. Basically, she's the primary damage dealer to clear the first and second mobs of wave, as well as to help to clear the 5 imps around the boss. And then we have William here. William is my supporter hero to apply the counter attack buff so that everyone will be able to deal more damage to the boss, and also provide additional buff to Nathalia to have at least 4 positive effects on her so that she can deal damage to all of the 5 imps. And apart from that, William is also capable of applying defense down and also boosting out everyone's basic ability damage output by 60% once you have ascended him. And then we have Pluto. He's there as our MVP here to showcase him. And basically, he's really great in applying 3 different debuffs, which is damage down to reduce the damage taken, as well as unhealable to prevent the boss from healing himself. And this one will speed up the run even faster, and also defense down so that all of the heroes here will be able to deal more damage to the boss. And finally, we have Opal here, which is basically the single target damage dealer, and she is highly recommended to use in most boss raids because each time the heroes attack, she'll be able to join attack to deal more damage. And for the spells, I'll be using Sundering Purgatory as well as Gaia's Renewal. Sundering Purgatory is to apply the defense down to the enemies so that they will receive more damage, and Gaia's Renewal is to heal up our heroes because there's no dedicated healer here, and also providing additional buff to Nathalia so that she'll be able to have at least 4 positive effects to wipe out all of the 5 imps around the boss. Alright, so let's showcase this team. Alright, at the start of the battle, I've speed tuned these heroes to go in a certain order, starting with William so that he applies the defense down, and then followed by Opal to activate the joint attack, so each time the second and third damage dealer attacks, she'll be able to join attack as well. Then the third hero will be Pluto to do some damage, followed by Nathalia. So they need to be speed tuned in this certain order. Then we are now on the second wave, they will do their thing. And by this time, right, William has already activated the counter attack buff, which is really important so that this provides an additional buff to Nathalia so that she has at least 4 positive effects by the time when she reaches the boss. Because the boss will summon more than like 5 imps around him, and in order for Nathalia to hit all of these enemies, right, she needs at least 4 positive effects. Alright, so that's Pluto. Basically, he performed his attack. And although if the Nathalia wasn't able to finish off these 5 imps, right, the counter attack buff will help to defeat these 5 imps. Because the 5 imps on this Helmet Stage 3 and 4, right, they'll be able to recover their health back when they receive fatal hit. Okay, that's Pluto. He applies the damage down so that the boss will deal lesser damage to us, I think. Okay, so the boss performed an AoE attack, right? And this will trigger all of the counter attack on all of my heroes here. The boss health is dropping out really fast. Now he has only 1 health bar. And I've get Opal in an assassin set so that she'll be able to do more damage to the boss. And it's important to gear William in a guard set to prevent him from casting the Gaia's Renewal on the first wave. Otherwise, right, he'll be spending the Gaia's Renewal on the first wave itself. Right, so this battle took around about 2 minutes and 4 seconds. And this one can be even faster once you book your damage dealers with the mastery books, especially for Opal as well as Pluto. Currently, these 2 heroes does not have any mastery books. I believe that in 10 multi-battles, it will take roughly around about 20 minutes plus, maybe 21 minutes and like that. Right, so let me show you the build for each of these heroes so that you can replicate this on your account if you want to speed farm this Ash Magisteria on the Helmet stages. Alright, so this is the first hero in the team, who is William. Basically, he's the support hero in the team to apply the defense down, counter attack, as well as boosting up my heroes' basic ability damage. And here are his overall stats. He has around about 20,000 health, 2,000 defense, 190 speed, 100% critical rate, 178% critical damage, and 90.5% focus. So the stats to prioritize on him would be the speed to him to go first, and then sufficient focus to apply the debuff. And then I build him as a supported damage dealer so that they can do some damage to the 5 imp, so that your damage dealer will be able to clear off those 5 imps around the boss. And this is not necessary if you're able to book your legendary heroes like Pluto as well as Opal to do more damage to them. This one is for maybe like if you're speed farming Magisteria and you don't have mastery books on Pluto. Okay, so let's check out the gears for William. So currently I'm gearing William in a guard set as well as an every set. Guard set provides him a 30% max health shield for 3 turns at the start of the battle. And this one is really important to gear this on him because the mobs on the first wave, right, will be attacking him. And if William takes too much damage, right, what will happen is he will trigger the guy's renewal spell too early. So this is needed. And then every set is to boost up his damage dealt through his ultimate ability because that one deals AoE damage. And this is really useful to lower down the 5 imps health. And let's quickly go through the gears, starting off with the weapon. So this is the weapon stats that has a critical rate, speed, attack percentage, and precision. Precision is not useful here because this one is mainly used for arena. Ideally, this one should be focus percentage. Next is the helmet that has a triple roll on attack percentage, critical damage, and resistance. Ideally, this resistance should be focus percentage. That will be the armor that has some critical damage, attack percentage, focus percentage, and health percentage. This one is really good for a supporter damage dealer. Then we have the speed boost with some resistance, flash health percentage, and critical rate. Ideally, this one should be critical damage and defense percentage and focus. This is a critical ring with some double roll and attack percentage, precision and focus, and some speed. This speed is to speed to him to go first in the battle. And finally, we have the attack necklace with a triple roll and critical rate, focus, and speed. And this one is not even maxed out yet. So if you max out this one, you'll be able to do more damage to the 5 imp. Currently, William is fully glyphed out as well as his abilities. I think he's fully mastered except for his gears. So once you are able to book 2 more mastery books in him, you'll boost up his speed as well as his critical rate and attack percentage. But the most important thing will be this ability mastery, or to enhance his ability tree, the order advanced ability level capped to 1. What does this do is basically to increase the chances of applying the defense down on the main target. As you can see here, chance versus main target increased to 100%. Previously is like 80%, and then this will boost up to 100%. Trigger chance is increased to 100% against the primary target, which is the boss. Basically, he's fully ascended. Getting his full ascension will benefit his health, attack, and defense, and most importantly, improve his basic ability damage to 60% for all team members. Alright, so that's basically William. Let's move on to the second hero in the team, who is Opal. Alright, so this is Opal with a fancy shooting animation. And let's check out her overall stats here. So she has around 4,643 attack, 189 speed, 100% critical rate, 229% critical damage, 14% focus. So the stats to prioritize on her would be speed, to speed her to go second in the team so that she can activate her joint attack, and then 100% critical rate as usual for damage dealers, and then prioritize on the attack and critical damage. Focus is irrelevant for her because she doesn't apply any debuff. Alright, so let's quickly go over Opal's gear set. So I'm currently gearing her in an assassin set. It's a 4-piece set that allows her to deal 50% more damage to the main target and also have a 50% chance to do additional 35% more damage to the main target. And raider set is to allow her to be speed tuned to go second in the team. So let's quickly go through the gear, starting off with the weapon. So this is the weapon that has some attack percentage, critical damage, and health percentage. This is the armor with some attack percentage, critical damage, health, and resistance. Ideally, this resistance should be either defense percentage, because Opal is also as squishy as Pluto and other damage dealers here. Then we have the armor with some critical rate, attack percentage, flash attack, and defense percentage. Ideally, the flash attack should be like critical damage to allow her to do more damage to the enemy. Then this is a speed boot with some flash health percentage, and critical rate and attack percentage. Ideally, the flash health should be critical damage here for more damage output. Next will be the critical rate ring, some precision, defense, critical damage, and health. This one can be further improved. Once you fully book Opal, then you can swap out the critical rate ring with a critical damage ring and have some attack percentage here. And finally, the attack necklace. We have a triple roll on critical damage, double roll on critical rate, and some flat stats defense and defense percentage. Ideally, this one should be a health percentage instead of a flat stats defense to boost up her survivability. Her glyphs are fully maxed out, same goes with her abilities. Currently, she doesn't have any mastery books, but adding mastery books on her is highly recommended because she's mainly used in many areas in the game, not just Ash Magisteria. She can be used for guild versus environment, guild boss, dungeon farming, Ash Magisteria, Queen of Tides, and so forth. You can check out my dedicated guide on Opal if you want to look for more information on how to build on how to build her. Then for her ascension, she has 2 ascensions here. The first ascension gives her 15% attack, and the second one will be basic health. Third one will be speed. So once you get this right, then you do not need to gear her in a raider set. You can gear her in a warrior set as well as a assassin set. So the more ascension you have, the better. The 5th ascension is not really required. Basically, this one allows her to gain speed up Potion 2 for 1 turn when her health drops below 50%. This is not necessary. Alright, so that's basically Opal's build. Let's move on to the 3rd hero in the team, which is Pluto, our MVP there. So this is Pluto with his fancy pirate animation move there. And let's check out his overall stats. He has around about 4,178 attack, 183 speed, his speed 2 to go 3rd, over 100% critical rate, 230% critical damage, and 67% focus. So he's basically a damage dealer and a debuffer, so you need to build him with some focus stat. Prioritize on the speed to him to go 3rd, then at least 100% critical rate. This one is over 11% critical rate here. Ideally, this one should be distributed into the attack percentage and critical damage. And once you have already get the sufficient speed, critical rate, and focus, then prioritize on the attack stats and critical damage. Alright, so let's check out Pluto's gear. So currently I'm gearing him in an average set as well as a warrior set. Warrior set provides 50% attack, average set allows him to deal 50% more damage using his ultimate ability, because this one will boost up the attack over an area damage output, but it can only be triggered once per round. So let's quickly go through the gear, starting off with the weapon. So this is the weapon with some attack, critical damage, focus, and health. This one is really good for supported damage dealer who can also apply debuff. And then this is the helmet with some attack, critical damage, followed by the armor that has some attack percentage, critical damage, focus, and resistance. Ideally, this resistance should be like health percentage. It's pretty squishy, so having additional health and defense percentage would be better for him to survive the enemy attacks. Then we have the speed boots on him to speed him to go second in the third in the team. This one has some focus to apply the debuff, critical rate, and attack percentage. And if you're able to ascend him to get the additional 15 speed and also get additional substats on speed, then you'll be able to convert this one to attack boots. Next is his critical rate ring with some critical damage, plus his health and attack percentage. Ideally, this one should be a health percentage because it scales well when based on his level. And finally, this is the attack necklace that provides him with some speed, critical rate, and defense percentage. For his glyph, is already maxed out. Same goes with his abilities. For his masteries, he doesn't have any mastery book on him, but ideally you want to have one mastery book in the critical damage so that he can deal more damage output from here. Max out the gear mastery to boost up his weapon, head, chest, feet, neck, and hands. And the most important thing is to get this additional critical rate stats here. So by mastering this one, right, you have around about 23% additional critical rate, which allows you to move to a critical damage ring. Alright, so let's check out Pluto's trait. So if you're able to get multiple copies of him or the Ascension Potion, you can gain additional 15% attack, 15% health, additional 15 speed, so you can build him with more speed, and then you can swap out the speed boots with attack boots. Then the most important thing will be the Ascension 5, but this one is not necessary. Basically, what the Ascension 5 does is allowing you to perform a special ability when there are 4 of your enemies. Without the 5th Ascension, it's only triggering the ultimate ability if there are 4 or more enemies. So this one is like a bonus attack to speed up the run even faster, to deal more damage to the boss. Alright, so that's basically the build for Pluto. Let's move on to the last and final hero, who is Nathalia. Alright, so this is Nathalia, and basically she's the primary damage dealer to clear out the first, second mobs as well as the fire imps around the boss. So let's check out her stats. She has around about 6,750 attack, 170 speed, 100% critical rate, 328% critical damage. And yeah, so basically you want to focus on the critical rate. Let's between her to go before the enemies. I think the enemy speed is around about 165 or 160 for Hell Mode Stage 4. And then once you are able to achieve the speed requirement as well as the critical rate, then dump in as much attack stats as well as the critical damage stats. So currently she's geared in a mix set of a guard set that provides her with a shield. This one is really important to trigger her a passive skill to apply the attack up buff as well as the immune buff. Warrior set for an additional 15% attack, Raider set for 15 speed. Let's check out her gear, starting off with the weapon. So this is the weapon that has some critical damage, speed, defense, and defense percentage. Ideally, this one should be attack percentage and critical rate or health percentage. Next will be her helmet with double roll on critical damage and triple roll on critical rate. This one is not really ideal because this one is a flash test attack and flash test defense. Next is her armor with a double roll on attack percentage, double roll on critical damage, single roll on critical rate. You can also use the gems to enhance these substats. And this enhancement, you can farm it from the faction challenge. Next is her attack boots with some speed, critical damage, and critical rate. And this is an attack ring with a double roll on critical damage and triple roll on critical rate. Finally, this is her attack necklace with some speed and triple roll on critical damage and some defense percentage here. Ideally, this one should be a health percentage because the more health she has, then she should be able to generate a larger shield through her guard set. Her glyph is fully maxed out, same goes with her abilities. And looking at her masteries, she is already fully maxed out with her physique, but the most important one is to get this critical damage. And if you want to min-max her attack stats, you can get the speed to attack. So the more speed you build on her, she will have additional attack stats here. Then for gears, basically this one boosts up the weapon, head, chest, feet, neck, and hands. This one is really important to max out as a damage dealer. And for the ability, it's also important to get the critical rate on so that you can swap with a attack percentage ring or critical damage ring, and also unlock the level cap for the abilities to do more damage. And for her ascension, she's already maxed out. The most important one is to get the ascension 2 to allow her to deal damage based on the positive effect on her. So if she has 4 or more positive effect, she'll be able to deal 40% increased damage through her abilities. And getting this ascension right will boost up her attack, her speed, her health, defense, as well as getting the basic health, attack, and defense here. Alright, so that's basically the build for Nathalia, and hopefully you guys have an idea on how to build these heroes. Alright, so let's do a recap on my hero build, and as you can see here, this is the hero stats as well as the gears that they are equipped. So as you notice, my William is geared in an every set as well as a guard set. Every set is important to allow him to do some damage to the 5 imps around the boss, and this is useful especially when the damage dealer like Pluto isn't able to do much damage to them, especially when Pluto doesn't have like Ascension as well as the mastery books on him. And then it's also crucial to gear William in a guard set to provide him a shield so that he does not trigger his Guy's renewal on the first wave, because the big 5 imp right will attack him, and if he loses too much health right, he will trigger the Guy's renewal spell, and we do not want that to happen. We want it to happen on the boss wave itself. For the William build, just build him with high amount of speed so that he's go first in the team, then some focus stats to apply the defense down, and then critical rate and attack and critical damage. And next will be Opal. She's speed tuned to go second in the team. Just speed tune her to go second, and then dump in as much attack, critical rate, and critical damage stats. Focus is not essential for her here. Next will be Pluto, the third damage dealer here. Basically, you just want to build him with to go third in the team. Then, as usual, damage dealer will have 100% critical rate, and then put a lot of attack and critical damage. You also need to give him some focus stat. Ideally, it should be around about 60% for him to apply the defense down, damage down, as well as the unhealable to the boss. And finally, we have Nathalia. You just need to speed tune her to go last in the team, but go before the enemies. I think the enemy speed is around 160 to 165 for Helmet Stage 4. So do keep that in mind. And then after you get the speed correctly, then as usual, 100% critical rate and as much attack and critical damage stats for her. Alright, so this is the results of my 10 run multi-battle using this team of William, Opal, Pluto, as well as Nathalia. Each run took around about less than 2 minutes, which is 1 minute and 54 seconds, and a total duration of 19 minutes and 5 seconds. Right, so that's the end of my video covering on how to speed farm the Ash Magisteria using Pluto, which you can currently get him through this 400 summon guaranteed summoning event. If you have any question, you can post your questions under the video, so I'll answer them as soon as possible. And if you're new to my channel, you can click on the subscribe button as well as ringing the notification bell to stay up to date whenever I upload a new video on this channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!